Hello, everyone. I am Camellia, a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, also known as a PMHNP. I'm also a nursing and mental health enthusiast. And I'm getting on today. I know, guys, I have not been on in a really long time, about a month or so, with good reason. But I did want to spend some time getting on today, and just am planning to get back into doing a few videos on some things that I've recently come across and that I've experienced. And as you guys know, if you followed me for some time, my goal is to share my experiences in real time, to possibly help someone, support someone, maybe inspire someone who is going on this same PMHNP journey. Um, but today, what I wanted to talk about was some of the benefits of being a PMHNP, or pursuing this route as a PMHNP. And, this really could translate to any nurse practitioner. But I really like to speak to my own experience. So that's what I'll share today. Some of the things that I've noticed that have been beneficial for me to becoming a PMHNP. And the first thing that I will say, guys, is that my entire reason for going into the healthcare field, into nursing, was to serve people. I do believe I have a calling for that, a passion for that. That's a huge part of my why. And my number one reason for being able to still love the work that I do, although it can be very demanding, difficult, challenging on many days, is because I'm able to tap back into the reason that I got into this. So being a PMHNP is not easy work. It does require a lot of mental energy. It requires it's very demanding at times. So I also like to be realistic about that. Um, and the number one reason that I became a PMHNP was to be able to continue serving patients and serving people. So that's my number one sort of benefit, is that I was a nurse, for about 15 years before I was a nurse for quite a bit of time before I decided to become a PMHNP. And that this allows me to extend that part of me and my passion. And for that reason, I'm fulfilled in what I do, despite having the challenges and some of the demands that come along with the role. So, my number one reason is because I still get to do what I love, which is working with patients and individuals. I get to see quality of life improve. It's a very rewarding aspect of the PMHNP role. I was a little disappointed recently when I came across someone who, talked about their benefits of becoming a nurse practitioner or a PMHNP. And the first thing they talked about was the money. Yes, that can be a perk, it can be a benefit, but I like to see that as a real consequence of doing what you love, not that you're diving into this for money. So money is at the very bottom of my list. I actually, the second reason that one of the benefits that I have is just being able to have and practice with autonomy. Nursing is a very critical thinking driven field, and this role allows me to do that. So that taps into my personal and professional growth. But I'm definitely able to practice with autonomy, and that requires me to be able to tap in and grow from a professional standpoint. And so you're always utilizing your critical thinking skills. And so this is a really an extension of that from nursing. It's also one of the reasons why I say that there are definitely perks to being a nurse before you become a nurse practitioner, although the roles are very different. So sometimes some of the non-traditional programs, one of the things that may be missing with that would be some of the honing of your critical thinking skills that you actually do get with nursing. That also means that sometimes that is not honed as much when you go right from nursing school to becoming a nurse practitioner. I know many do it. It's something that it's an individual decision. But the autonomy comes with lots of critical thinking, and I love to be challenged with that on a daily basis. So it helps keep me growing. Um, Number three is that this PMHNP route has allowed me to continue having a good work-life balance. I have never gone back to 12-hour shifts since I have become a nurse practitioner, and I don't desire to do that. With the season of life that I'm in right now, sometimes that works for some, but it does not work for me, and I've never desired to go back to 12-hour shifts, especially as a mom, as a wife, and just as um, just wanting to do other things. It just hasn't been something I've desired. So the good thing about that is that work-life balance is definitely, or someone told me recently, work-life integration, because you never really have a balance, but you can always integrate, and you can always look and see what deserves your attention more, now versus later. But I do think that this route has allowed me to be able to achieve more of a work-life balance or integration, however you put it. And so I do appreciate that. That is definitely a benefit. I also love the fact that there is flexibility with this role, in terms of where you can work, what you can do. I was very cautious when I became a PMHNP, or when I thought about going to school, um, because I was worried that I would be stuck in this box. I have been a person, even when I was in nursing, that I really delved into quite a few different things. Some of you have probably followed me before, and you know that I've been, in a lot of areas of nursing, and it's because I like to keep my, you know, um, thinking skills, honed. I like to continue to kind of think on my feet, and every area of nursing has allowed me to do that in a different way. But what I've found, surprisingly, is that being a PMHNP, there is still that flexibility because you can work in so many different areas. I did a video on that a while back. It's actually the main video for this channel, that talks about the different places that you can work as a PMHNP, and it's really growing, and there are so many avenues that you can take in terms of the population, in terms of the setting that you work. So the flexibility is something I appreciate because it allows me to be able to continue to also grow, but not feel like I'm stuck in one box. So if I, become burnout in one area, I can definitely pursue another, and there's many opportunities to be able to do that. Okay. It can be argued that, of course, if you're an FNP, you can work in multiple other areas. Yes, your license is limited to psychiatry, but within psychiatry, what I'm really saying is that there are so many avenues that you can definitely pursue as a PMHNP. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is that it's a field of competitive pay. That goes without saying. But, again, that's my number 5 because that is not what drives the work that I do every day. And that is not what drives the positions that I decide to take solely. And it's really based in, the fact that you are paid on a higher scale as a PMHNP. But unfortunately, I've seen, and I actually had a conversation with one of you about this recently, that I've seen that many are looking at this as more of a lucrative career versus something that you're doing because it's what you love and what you really desire to do. Honestly, it's a field that requires a lot. It pulls out a lot of different skills. If you want to know those skills, you can go back to the video that I did a video about skills as a PMHNP. But it does tag on you, and it tugs on a lot of different things that you have to be able to be willing to grow in and have patience with in this field. So money is a very sort of a consequence. It's sort of a perk of this type of role as a PMHNP. But it definitely should not be a driver or the first reason that you decide to do this. What is the risk in that? What I have found in this field, in the little bit of time that I've been around, is that most who just go into this because of money get burnt out really quickly. And that's because you have nothing to tap back into when you do have those more challenging days, when you are more, you're pulled a little bit more than usual. You're mentally exhausted. What helps me to recharge is being able to know why I'm doing this. And so, if you never have that foundation of a why and money is your driver, then what I have found is that many do burn out quickly with that mindset. Doesn't mean it something doesn't work for everyone. I understand that. Just speaking from my own experience here. But those are the few benefits that I have found. A lot of you have asked me this question, so hopefully that you're able to kind of understand some of the things that I've noted. Of course, there are things that don't feel so great all the time. There's no perfect job. There's no perfect role. There's no perfect way to get to become or to work as a PMHNP or a place to work. But the five core things that I've noticed. Again, I still get to do what I love. I'm able to practice with autonomy. I am able to have a work-life balance or integration. I'm able to have some flexibility with the jobs that I do choose to work. And lastly, there is competitive pay with the role. So I'm hopeful that this is helpful to someone. Video's a little longer than I wanted it to be, but definitely please comment, send me a message, look at my about section. Feel free to message me there if you'd like, email me if you'd like. I'm always open to questions, or if any of you are on a specific part of your journey and you have questions about kind of what I did or what worked for me, please feel free to message me. I'm always open to that. I'm hopeful this video was helpful to someone, and I look forward to continuing to connect and engage with you guys in future videos. Thank you.